Everyone's today we'll talk about Netflix stock, which went down 10% after reporting its earnings, and then it also had a bit of a bad day since, and it was kind of really the first major main stock to report earnings. And this week it kind of gets a little bit busier. We've got a few more companies that are announcing their earnings, but it was the first kind of big earnings, and it kind of sent the stock down. And for a few people, that might be a bit of a buying opportunity into Netflix stock right now. But this week we've kind of got a few more earnings, and when the stock market is kind of at these kind of prices right now, and they're really kind of at highs, and I feel like the stock market is kind of slightly overvalued right now, is that hopefully this earnings season might pull a few of the stocks back down to prices where they're a little bit more valuable to invest in, and you get them for a bit of more of a discount. So hopefully we'll see a few more of them this week with companies report a few more earnings. But Netflix itself went down quite a bit this week, and for a few people they're kind of looking at that stock now and thinking, is it a good time to buy? In the earnings report, there was two kind of main reasons why the stock really went down on the earnings report, and obviously one of the big things is there was a big subscriber miss in kind of all areas, really, a big massive decline. And even though Netflix kind of thinks that this was going to happen in Q2, the subscriber numbers were pretty well more than a bit of a bad miss. They were kind of like under half of what they were estimating. And also, one of the main reasons that Netflix pointed to this is because of shows that were lost. And they said that the two shows that really was the big hitters for them is that they've now lost, well, they're not going to show anymore The Office, which is one of the big shows on Netflix. And also it's not going to show Friends anymore, which is obviously another big show that they've lost. And a few reasons why, mainly because of the competition that's now coming into the market, and a few more people kind of thinking now, is Netflix slightly a little bit got a bit more competition now. For such a long time Netflix was kind of the only one in that streaming area, and now that there's a lot more streaming services out there, is it really going to start affecting Netflix going forward? And with a lot of the competitors now pulling shows off, we've seen it with Disney already, and them making a streaming service with them pulling their shows off, and now other companies that are making streaming services pulling shows off Netflix, this could kind of really affect the company. But Q2 also is notoriously a bad quarter for Netflix, and they kind of say that going forward they've kind of got some big shows coming up. Black Mirror's coming out, and Stranger Things, which is probably one of my favourite TV shows that's currently out there, is coming out or has come out, and that should help push subscriber numbers up a little bit more. There's also a couple of other shows coming out, but those are kind of the two that they were kind of pushing, saying, look, next quarter it will be a lot better because we've got a lot more shows coming up. So on this news, a few people are looking around now saying, is this a good buying opportunity to go and get into Netflix stock? Now for me, for a long time, Netflix has always traded at a very high P. It's one of the highest P's I've ever seen, that I'm always like, wow, it just keeps going up and up and up, and it's never kind of like brought itself back down really. And I feel like at the moment Netflix might go through an adjustment period right now, because the P is still around about 130ish, and it's quite a high P, and historically it's just kept on climbing up. And that P would be fine for a company that had no competition out there. But when we look at Netflix now in the streaming area, there's just so much competition in there. It's one of the most like crowded areas that everyone's completely dived on right now. And I think if Netflix was kind of like the sole kind of company in that area, like it was 3 years ago, that would be fine trading at that P. But when we look at the competition that's out there now, you look around going, this company should not be trading around at this P. It's got so much competition now. This, even though it's still growing at a massive rate, don't get me wrong, the EPS is really strong, the revenue is really strong, and it's putting all this money into making its own shows, which is kind of really paying off for it. It has so much competition in there that this stock should be trading, even with that growth, 50p at a push really. So that's something also to be very careful of. So another couple of good things about Netflix apart from the growth is that obviously Q2 is normally the notorious one, and that's because it comes to the summertime. A lot of people more are going out, and that's the reason why numbers are down, and also the lack of shows is one of the reasons why they're down going forward. But it is still going good for them going forward. In my opinion, when we look at Netflix stock, it's about time we went through adjustment phase, because I do really like the company. I do like the area. They are still dominant kind of company in that area, but they kind of have to adjust slightly because there is just so much more competition kind of in that area right now, that I think that they need to bring the P down slightly. But I still like it. I think it's still growing, but at these prices I still won't get into the company. For me, the company would probably have to drop to about $250 for me to consider getting into the company itself. But going forward, it's definitely going to be an interesting time for Netflix. It's one that I'm going to watch on the sidelines and not get invested at all unless it completely crashes down. But for me, even on this discount, Netflix is not a stock that I would invest in just because it's just so highly overvalued right now. And for me, it would have to be at more of a discount than what it is right now for me to invest in. But I do really like the company and how much it's growing. It's just very overvalued still, in my opinion, and that's what I plan to do, and I won't probably buy any shares in the company. That's me talking about Netflix stock for today, guys, and talking about it after its earnings report and the big subscriber miss that it had. I've not talked about Netflix for a while, so I thought it was a good time to talk after this earnings report. And like I say, hopefully this week going forward in a bit more busy time for earnings, we'll see a few more stocks making some moves and hopefully some good buying entry points into some stocks. Like I say, because the stock market is kind of like really overvalued right now, and well, not overvalued but fair value, and I kind of like want to get things at discount. So hopefully, like the earnings, like Netflix going forward, will kind of bring some opportunities to invest in some companies going into the month of August. So if there is any of them kind of opportunities that come up, I probably will make a video about it and share it and update you guys, and also if I'm buying any shares into them companies that kind of took that big massive discount. But that's the video for today, guys, talking about Netflix stock. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it helped you if you're looking to invest in it. If you could give the video a like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.